discovering with no cares life is so easy. Can I justify being lazy if I'm the skeleton of what I could be? I had enough of the world, always begging me, do this, do that, so I'm escaping. Fight or flight, is it right to run, or am I falling short of who I should become?
Hey everyone, we're back, and we're gonna solve this mystery tonight. I feel it. Catch up. If you guys were watching over the weekend, I guess we ended because the game froze during the cutscene, so it turned out whenever I tried to restart the game, we had lost all of our progress. So I quickly got back up to where we were. Now I knew exactly where to go, so I went straight to the points that mattered. So you may see cases here or there where we need to ask somebody something that you may remember already asking. In case that happens, that's why. Anyway. It wasn't quite as bad. It went faster knowing where to go, but they don't let you skip any of the cutscenes, so that was kind of a bummer the first time you're watching them. And I can tell already because basically what I did is I put the game on mute and just kind of clicked through as I was watching something. So I need to unmute the game. 1 second. That's a little better. Alright, so basically we had just learned about the Atlas Prime candidates. Best students become prime candidates. They get a very good job. Students aren't tested. Never asked Simon to test Kate, and Simon had been trying to undermine Kate. That's what Ryan had to say. Paul said that prime candidates are the best students, and prime candidates are given a well-paid job. Yeah, I don't know if the game would be quite as fun if the acting wasn't kind of silly and goofy and a little cheesy. So I'm thinking we should ask Paul about the prime candidates, so that's where I'm headed.
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
Oh, we already did ask.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
I was thinking Simon. Simon's who I wanted to ask.
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
I'm not confused. I just went to the wrong person. He's the one that...
That's all for the moment. Thank you. Do you know what a prime candidate is at Atlas?
Yes, it's what every student wants to be. It's the best student. Apparently you get a great high-paid job afterwards. I don't think that really happens, though.
Did you know anyone in the running to be prime candidate?
What, like Simon? I don't think they picked Simon, to be honest. Well, he's got too many morals, and you can't have both at Atlas.
Alright, so Emma knows about prime candidates, doesn't think Simon was a prime candidate, and believes morals are incompatible with Atlas.
Be back later on, if that's okay. A couple more questions, if that's okay. Do you know what a prime candidate is?
At Atlas, it's the best student.
And what does that mean?
It means they get a guaranteed job with a very good salary. Well, that's the idea anyway.
But?
Mostly they aren't up to it.
What happens then?
They get sacked.
Prime candidates are the best students. They get a guaranteed job with a good salary. Most of them aren't up to the job, and failed prime candidates get sacked.
Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.
I don't know how, I mean, not exactly prime. Yeah, obviously they didn't quite prepare them very well. If their best student can't hack it.
A few more questions, please. Thank you. Thank you. Probably be back later.
All right, Chief, what do you got for us? Went too far. We already talked to Ryan.
Jenks, tell me what you know first, but this time I've got something to tell you.
Really? Well, what I found out is that Simon was asked by Ryan to test Kate to see if she was good enough to become prime candidate.
Prime what?
Prime candidate. It's the best of the bunch. The best Atlas student. The prime candidate gets an instant job on a fantastic salary as soon as they leave the course.
And how do they work out who's the best of the bunch?
That's what I'm trying to work out.
Well, that's very interesting. I'll tell you what I know, shall I? That name they used to trade under, Third Eye. Turns out they were investigated 3 years ago over an allegation of physical abuse. Torture, Jenks. Witness had puncture marks through both her hands.
And Atlas weren't charged?
There was nothing to charge them with. The witness inflicted the wounds herself. Witness said it was something called threshold testing, whatever that means. Go figure, as they say in America.
Can I ask the Rands about this?
Well, there's no point. They won't tell you anything and it'll just put them on the defensive. Just keep chipping away at them. Try and find out what this testing involves. That's the best thing. Get something on them and you'll be in a better position.
Right. Thank you, Chief.
Nearly there, Jenks.
Yeah, they're Jenks. That didn't actually add a new clue to talk about. Did we ever find out what this area was for? I don't remember. Nope. When in doubt, check the wood.
Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. You can push it all the way in, Tom, if you want to. Excellent, Tom.
Excuse me. Would someone care to tell me exactly what's going on here?
Don't come any closer.
That man needs a doctor.
No, he doesn't.
I don't need a doctor. I'm fine. Go away.
What is this?
A test.
Of what?
What does it look like? It's a threshold test. A pain threshold test. I thought, you were supposed to be good at working things out. Inspector Jenks.
And so this would be for Atlas, would it? Kyle?
You disappear now.
It's not a good idea to talk to a police inspector like that.
Do you want me to make you?
It's okay, Tom. Mr. Jenks won't be bothering us anymore.
Don't make any rash commitments. Well, well. You really should take more care of your things, Ryan. Is your keys, Kyle?
No.
So that's threshold testing, is it? Sticking a skewer through your hand? I could just ask Ryan or Paul directly about this, but I think I'll bide my time. See what I can do with this key fob first.
So he asked him if it was his keys and then let him just keep them? When he said no. So I'm guessing the key fob goes with the car, so I'm heading that way.
Bingo. Well, Ryan, what have you been up to? Be very interesting to see how he explains this one.
Ooh. I'm trying to lock. I need to lock the car. I guess we'll just leave it unlocked. Right, let's go talk to Ryan.
ask you a couple more things, please? Would you like to explain what this is, please, Ryan? £500 intended for Kate. It fell out of your car. At least I assume that's your car on the driveway at Brandon House.
I suppose so.
So why were you going to give Kate £500, Ryan?
It was just a little incentive, that's all. Just a little incentive.
Not very little, Ryan. £500.
She was a very good student. We heard that she was leaving. We wanted to give her something.
But you didn't.
Well, obviously not.
Are you sure there wasn't any other reason you might want to give her this? Personal reason?
No!
Well, I'd like to keep hold of this for a little while, if you don't mind.
Well, don't consider it a bribe, will you, Inspector?
All right, money meant little as a little incentive for Kate. Had heard Kate wanted to leave Atlas. No ulterior reason for giving Kate the money. Didn't one of them say that they never bribed or something like that? I don't know if it was him or his father, though. I might just kind of scan through. It was fairly recent, so if we haven't seen it yet, then maybe it was Paul. All right. People are free to do what they liked. That's not exactly a contradiction, but maybe. That second one is a good one. Let's try that. Wanted to leave. Is there anything else you can think of? I guess we're gonna find more whenever we talk to Paul, because I think he was the one that specifically said something along. I don't remember what, something along the lines of like they never bribe or anything their students. I think it was in relation to something around.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
But I guess we can work around it, Paul. Let's talk to Simon and Emma first about it. Yep, something or other.
Just a few more questions, if you don't mind.
Oh, you want to check the other rooms? Okay, we'll go back. Simon wouldn't know about the money.
That's all for the moment. Thank you.
Oh.
Be back later on, if that's okay.
All right, back to go check the other rooms. I don't think there's going to be anything in these rooms, but we can look. Nothing here. Sorry. You want to use the mirror in the mirror room? Okay. Alright, we checked the restaurant.
Ask about a few more things, please.
Oh, wow. Best not to ask Rebecca about the money for Kate. Interesting. Yeah, we may have checked it before, but we can try it again.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
I wonder what the implication of that is, though. Is it blackmail money or is it bribery for... That other thing that Paul was referring to was also related to bribery. That wasn't specifically about the blackmail. I don't remember the details, though. I don't know why I went into the kitchen. Maybe. It does make it suspicious. Oh. James isn't going to know anything. We'll go straight to Paul.
Couple more questions, if that's okay? Now, why do you think Ryan might want to give Kate a cheque for £500?
I've really no idea. Where did you find it?
Just outside.
You better ask him.
You think Ryan was interested romantically in Kate?
I know he has a weakness for blondes, but I didn't think it had gone so far as his offering them cash.
Doesn't know why Ryan would give Kate £500. Knows Ryan was interested in blonde. All right, what was the... I definitely remember something about bribery. Yeah, you're right. Kate isn't. That's interesting. Maybe it was somebody else then, because I don't see it. But yeah, let's... That's a weird thing. He knew her, but I don't know why he jumped to saying that she was a blonde. Driver's license, that's... yeah. None of that really matches.
That's it for the time being, thank you.
Alright, what do you guys think we should check? This isn't likely to go anywhere, but... Oh, what's her name? Since they mentioned a blonde. Okay. Guess it was worth checking at least. Yeah, maybe it was Ryan that said it. I'm just going to check James, even though it's not likely to be available.
A few more questions, please.
Yeah, James definitely would know about the money.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Let's check Ryan again. Maybe we overlooked on his. We didn't really do a thorough scan like we just did with Paul.
Ask you a couple more things, please.
Students aren't coerced or bribed in any way.
Aha. So, students aren't coerced or bribed in any way, except Kate.
I'm not sure what you mean.
You said you were going to give Kate the £500 as an incentive. That's coercion, isn't it?
I really don't think you could call it coercion, Inspector. It was an incentive, that's all, a little encouragement.
So, how often do you use incentives?
Okay, incentive is probably the wrong word. The money was just to see how Kate would respond. It was part of her assessment.
Assessment?
We have to assess students as they progress. We don't use conventional methods like sitting an exam or anything like that. People pay for this course per session. We have to know if they're committed or not.
So you're assessing their progress and testing their commitment?
Yes, we are. We have to. This is a business, not a charity.
So Ryan's claiming the money was part of Kate's assessment. And did this assessment also involve threshold testing, I wonder? Or was the money for something else?
That made no kind of sense. It contradicts this.
Aha. Well, which one is it, Ryan? Do you test students or not?
Well, some of them, yes.
Including Kate?
Yes.
Why was she being tested?
She was being tested because we wanted to see if she was good enough to become prime candidate, okay?
So Kate was in the running to be prime candidate?
Yes!
And did you ask Simon to test her?
Yes, I did. But I didn't ask him to do anything stupid. He knew it was against course rules.
How far did you ask him to push her?
I didn't ask him to push her. I asked him to test her. There's a huge difference. If Simon decided to give her too much caffeine or morphine or whatever, that's his responsibility. So if he did anything wrong, it was his own responsibility. He did it with his own mind and his own hand. We had nothing to do with it.
Midnight, and still no suspect, unless you count everyone I've interviewed. It's no surprise that Ryan wants to avoid any suggestion of being responsible for Kate's death, but I wonder if the man protests just a little too much.
Well, I think this is the last hour.
Do you know whether Kate was in the running to be prime candidate or not?
I don't, but I do think she would have been chosen just because she was, Kate.
You didn't discuss it with Kate?
No. No, she never talked about this.
Didn't know about Kate's prime candidate status. Thinks Kate would be chosen. Kate didn't discuss the Atlas course. Yeah, that part I'm not sure about. That's what I was looking around. Can't think of anything specifically that contradicts it, but it just seems odd. I guess I'll put a pin in that. Kate wanted to blackmail. Yeah, okay. Alright, Simon's going to be a big one, I think.
That's all for the moment. Thank you.
You want to look with it?
Be back later on, if that's okay.
I didn't think there's anything else, really. I mean, that was I guess, the closest one. We can look through them. Yeah, but I don't know if any of them are specific to like things that she learned from Kate. They happen to be mostly either things that she knows from Simon or things from her one time that she went there when they were third eye. I'm checking. Still going. You simmer down. Yeah, most of these things aren't gonna really... maybe that would go somewhere. We'll try it. Not a naga.
Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.
How do you think you'd have reacted if you'd found out that Kate had been chosen to be prime candidate?
Was she?
I'm just asking how you think you'd react.
I don't know. I wouldn't react in any way, really. I'm not bothered. I don't think she was, though.
What makes you think that?
Well, it's just an impression I got. You know, she's a bit flaky, to be honest. It's just not really prime candidate material.
Doesn't think Kate could be a prime candidate. Well, obviously Emma thinks that she would be a shoo-in. Let's see. Does that contradict any? Did he like say anything about how she was really good at Atlas or anything like that? Yeah, maybe. That would be the one that would fit. You know, why would you not think that she could be chosen for prime candidate if you were specifically asked to test her for prime candidate? That's it. Yeah, that one seems like it should have been at least something. But whatever. Alright. I thought that would have been a bigger thing than it ended up being. I guess the next person with probably something to talk about would be Paul. But first let's talk to Rebecca.
Thank you. Probably be back later. A few more questions, if you don't mind.
Did you know Kate Vine was a prime candidate?
No.
Okay.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
James isn't going to know anything. What did she say for prime candidates? They're the best students. They get guaranteed job with good salary. Most students aren't up to the job, and failed prime candidates get sacked. Okay, we'll ask them to get a no. It may just give us the boring white text of nothingness.
A couple more questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, James wouldn't know about Kate's prime candidate status. Stares away into fire. No.
That's all for the moment. Thank you.
Yeah, he may not use a black scrying mirror to self-hypnotize, but he uses that fire. That's for sure.
A few more questions, please. Thank you.
Why is my phone blowing up?
Was Kate a prime candidate?
Well, as Ryan has probably already told you, yes, she was.
Did you ask Simon to test her?
Yes, it's company policy. Leaders don't get involved.
And it covers your back, of course.
Well, nobody knows the students better than they do, Inspector. It's much better to let them just work it out among themselves.
It isn't very professional to force students to test each other to the point where one of them gets killed, Paul.
We don't force students to do anything that they don't want to do, Inspector.
So you don't force them into being tested?
No, we don't encourage anybody to hurt or offend anybody else here.
You don't use threshold testing, for instance?
No. If Simon Thompson went too far with Kate, that's his responsibility, not ours. He's the one you should be speaking to, if truth be told. I don't trust him myself.
Kate was being tested for prime candidate. Leaders don't get involved in testing students. Don't use threshold testing. Students not encouraged to hurt each other. There's got to be something in there, right? Versus pickpocket? Oh, he was the one that told us, so he... Well, actually, that was somewhere else, right? The DVD. Where's the DVD? I was thinking it was named something else for some reason, but I found it. Okay, so... What about that one? Aw. That's kind of a contradiction there. There's something, well, we know the threshold testing is fake, is a lie, because we literally just saw them shoving needles through their hands. Wait, but with Kate, what they didn't do Kate was the morphine. Is there something with the morphine? They tested her by making her take. They had Simon try to see how much. You know what I mean. Maybe it's more of a Ryan thing.
Be back later on, if that's okay.
Yeah, I guess we can check Ryan. But I don't think Ryan has that same bullet point to contradict it with. Chief.
Hello, Jenks. Yes, I'm still up. Thanks for asking.
Chief Ryan admitted that he asked Simon to test Kate to see if she was good enough to be prime candidate, but he's throwing it all back on Simon. Says it was up to Simon about how he went about testing her.
Very convenient. What does Paul say?
He pretty much backs Ryan up. He claims they don't do any threshold testing.
Well, that's a load of horse droppings. He knows you're onto him, Jenks, which means you're getting somewhere at last. It's only taken you till midnight, but well done nonetheless. Listen, call me back. I'm watching an old movie, but Christopher Lee's only just turned up, so I'll be here for another hour or so, yeah?
Okay, Chief. I'll call again.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, there's something with that threshold testing. Even the chief thinks so. They did it in the mirror. Yeah, it got totally kind of muffled for me.
Welcome to the Mirror Room. This exercise is all about identifying the difference between the image one presents to the world and one's real self, which lies deep in our unconscious. As you move through the network of mirrors, practice seeing yourself as a stranger. The more you separate from your persona, the more aware you will become of your true desires and ambitions. Chant with us. I am free from my image. I am free from my past. I am free from myself.
I am free from my image. I am free from my past. I am free from myself. I am free from my image. I am free from my past. I am free from myself.
This exercise involves the use of liberation masks. You have now completed Module 1. Module 2 covers boundary testing, threshold testing, and extreme testing. Please read the notes carefully.
Ask you a couple more things, please. Aha.
Ha!
You say you don't endorse threshold testing, that's the phrase, isn't it?
Yes.
Except you do, Paul, because you told me that the students use that CD in the mirror room. I've listened to that CD, and it very clearly mentions threshold testing. You keep batting this away, Paul. We don't really use hypnosis. The students aren't really tested, but I am this close to launching a full-scale investigation.
Look, we get a kickback from these students, and they have to be exceptional. Of course we have to test them. That doesn't mean we do anything illegal. What do you think we do? Bump off the ones we don't like?
Well, that depends on how far you push them, doesn't it?
Well, we certainly don't kill them. Nobody here wanted Kate dead.
I'm sure they didn't. But what do you expect, Paul, when you put students under that much pressure?
She was a very, very valuable student. She was worth a lot to the business.
Really? And how much would that be?
But if you really want to know, 50 grand.
She was worth 50 grand?
Yes.
What, you were selling her?
Of course we were selling her. You don't get this, do you? We make perfect employees. Month after month. That's all we do.
What do you mean, perfect employees?
What big business needs, Inspector, more than anything else, is none of this altruistic, goody-goody crap. What we look for is people with ambition, no ethics, push, greed is good, all right? We don't deal with all this comfort stuff. The survival of the fittest. That's all there is. There's no higher purpose, no big plan. There's nothing at the end of the rainbow, except what you have and you can enjoy in the here and now.
And what do you enjoy now, Paul?
You're going to have to excuse me, Inspector. I'm a very busy man. I've got work to do.
I'll see myself out.
Lovely man, your father.
Shut the gate on your way out.
He's doing his level best to shut this place down. Get rid of him.
He's a policeman. We can't just...
You sort this, Ryan. You man up and you sort it. Tonight.
That doesn't sound good. Two totally morally bankrupt men are plotting to get rid of me. It's midnight. I don't have any backup and I don't even have a mobile phone. This is potentially quite bad. And what's Kyle got to do with it? I think I might make my way over to Atlas while Ryan isn't there. Maybe lock myself in.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you're back, Sentinel. So basically, we struck a nerve with Mr. Paul. He didn't like what we had to say about the fact that they were... Yeah, I'll just replay the team. That's a good idea, sure.
You say you don't endorse threshold testing, that's the phrase, isn't it?
Yes.
Except you do, Paul. You say you don't endorse threshold testing, that's the phrase, isn't it?
Yes.
Except you do, Paul, because you told me that the students use that CD in the mirror room. I've listened to that CD, and it very clearly mentions threshold testing. You keep batting this away, Paul. We don't really use hypnosis. The students aren't really tested, but I am this close to launching a full-scale investigation.
Look, we get a kickback from these students, and they have to be exceptional. Of course we have to test them. That doesn't mean we do anything illegal. What do you think we do? Bump off the ones we don't like?
Well, that depends on how far you push them, doesn't it?
Well, we certainly don't kill them. Nobody here wanted Kate dead.
I'm sure they didn't. But what do you expect, Paul, when you put students under that much pressure?
She was a very, very valuable student. She was worth a lot to the business.
Really? And how much would that be?
Well, if you really want to know, 50 grand.
She was worth 50 grand?
Yes.
What, you were selling her?
Of course we were selling her. You don't get this, do you? We make perfect employees. Month after month. That's all we do.
What do you mean, perfect employees?
What big business needs, Inspector, more than anything else, is none of this altruistic, goody-goody crap. What we look for is people with ambition, no ethics, push, greed is good, all right? We don't deal with all this comfort stuff. The survival of the fittest. That's all there is. There's no higher purpose, no big plan. There's nothing at the end of the rainbow, except what you have and you can enjoy in the here and now.
And what do you enjoy now, Paul?
You're going to have to excuse me, Inspector. I'm a very busy man. I've got work to do.
I'll see myself out. Lovely man, your father.
Shut the gate on your way out.
He's doing his level best to shut this place down. Get rid of him. He's a policeman. We can't just... You sort this, right? You man up and you sort it. Tonight.
Well, all right. After that, he said something about maybe we should, like, find a place to hole up or something because he doesn't have any backup. Yeah, he was.
Just a few more questions, if you don't mind.
Oh, that didn't even add a new thing? Wow. Okay.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
I just had a fun idea. Yeah, really. Actually, let me, because I'm getting scared because we've had issues in the past, so let me save the game. I was just thinking it would be funny. Let's just... Oops. I didn't want to talk to James. We already talked to James, and he didn't have anything to say about this. But let's just go back into Paul's house. Hey, Paul, you want to talk to us some more? Oh, it's not even an option to go in? Aw. Paul doesn't want to talk to us anymore. Well... We talked to Simon, we talked to Emma, we talked to Rebecca, we talked to Paul. James had nothing to say, obviously. And we can't talk to Ryan. Yeah. The game kind of gave a hint that maybe we hole up in Atlas. But yeah, let's check the woods before we go there, just in case, because that may trigger like the end or something. I don't know if it's possible. Is it possible to like get a bad ending if you don't uncover all the contradictions or something? It doesn't seem that way. It seems like you have to find things to move forward so far, but I don't know if the ending maybe changes that. Well, realistically, if you look at the map, that's how you get there. Oh, 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 oh!
Prove to me that you're man enough to do this, Kyle, and then you can deal with that ridiculous police inspector.
What is this? What the hell? Scotland Yard, not hell. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, Inspector. What are you doing here?
Inspecting. So, come on. Let's have it.
I don't think you'd understand, Inspector. The best thing that you can do is turn around, go away, and leave us to it.
Knife.
What?
That knife gives me a perfect right to stick my nose in, investigate, and interfere.
This is all part of the Atlas course. It's a physical endurance exercise.
Drop the knife. The knife, Kyle!
Kyle. Drop it! Drop it.
Not looking 100% brilliant for you, Ryan.
Oh, please, Inspector, you've poked your nose into Atlas's affairs enough times to know that imaginative flair is part of the course's success. Our lessons are reinforced by a unique emotional experience.
Terror?
It's an extremely evocative tool.
Well, it's a good job you're not in charge of the national curriculum.
Now look, Inspector, I know what you're trying to do. I know what you're thinking. But believe me, Atlas had nothing to do with the deaths of those people.
Eyewitness account of a satanic sacrifice in the woods. That's not what we call circumstantial evidence, Ryan.
Simon. Now, I saw Simon walking home with Kate last Friday after the meeting. Now, Simon had some strange idea that he was in the running to become prime candidate. Well, a knob of butter has more chance of becoming prime minister. Oh, wait.
So are you telling me that...
Simon killed her? Well, it seems reasonable. It's likely, isn't it?
Any more likely than you, Ryan? Pig! I know. Police brutality.
You okay?
New hint. Ryan's accusation. Ryan claimed that he saw Simon walking Kate home last Friday night. Okay. Or even a face roll.
Ask about a few more things, please.
Yeah, I can check Atlas too. I was just worried that at the time I was thinking that I actually thought that the woods was gonna be a lark, and then when we got to Atlas, that was gonna trigger the ending. But I guess not.
Do you know how well Simon knew Kate?
Not really.
Did you ever see them together?
So why? Do you think he killed her?
I've no idea. Do you think he'd be capable of that?
Do you think we're all capable of it?
No, I don't.
Sure. So you'd never been in your police car responding to an incident, driven past a school at high speed?
Don't know. Maybe.
Well, you've answered your own question then. When you've got a need and things get in your way, it's human nature to either ignore them or get rid of them. Any way you can. That's all murder is, isn't it?
Maybe you're right.
Doesn't know how well Simon knew Kate. Thinks everyone is capable of murder.
That's it for the time being. Thank you. Couple more questions, if that's okay.
Rebecca doesn't know enough to ask about this question.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Blah, 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 blah. I don't think Paul's going to talk to us anymore. Yep. Alright, let's check out Atlas, I guess, before we go talk to Simon about...
Damn. I suppose it was too much to hope that Ryan had left the place open.
Whoop. I guess that's that. So we talked to Emma and then Simon.
A few more questions, please.
That's true.
Did Simon mention walking home with anyone after the meeting last Friday?
No, he just came home. Why?
He didn't mention walking home with Kate?
No, definitely not.
Simon didn't walk home with Kate Friday. I don't think. Okay. You want to check that other house?
That's all for the moment. Thank you.
Where did you see it? I don't know what you're talking about, Shara. Oh, the Rosenbaum estate. Okay. Is there something... something you wanted to do here? I don't think there's anything we can do.
Ask you a couple more things, please.
Oh, okay. I was like, I didn't understand where you were going with that.
What would you say if I said it's been suggested that you were seen walking home with Kate after Atlas last Friday?
What? By who?
The same person who suggested that you wanted Kate out of the picture because you found out she was in the running to be prime candidate.
Who said that?
Just a question.
I didn't think I was in the running. It was Ryan, wasn't it?
I am in no position to say.
It was Ryan.
Simon, calm down.
No, I can prove it. Kate's driving licence, give it to me.
Why?
Kate's driving licence, please. See that pattern on the tape there? Let me show you something. See this pattern? Now look at that. It's the same pattern. This has come from the same roll of tape as this.
So?
So there's only one person that's taped like that. Ryan. He gave me this piece of tape when I was in his office once. Why has Kate's driving licence got a piece of Ryan's tape on it?
I have no idea, Simon.
Where did you find it?
Oh, by the lake.
It's obvious, isn't it? Ryan was testing her. He was doing a boundary test to see how much she would do, how far she would go to be a prime candidate. But it all went wrong. Okay. It's one of the things we do at the course, right? You give something that's important to you to someone else, then they go and hide it somewhere. It's to teach you to not be bothered when you lose something that's important to you, all right? Kate gives her driving licence to Ryan. Ryan goes and hides it somewhere down the lake. Kate finds out, she goes down looking for it, probably drunk, and she falls in.
I'm afraid I find that a bit far-fetched, Simon.
It makes perfect sense if you know anything at all about how Atlas works.
But Simon, if you got the tape from Ryan, Kate could have got it from him.
He told me he doesn't lend it out.
He lent it to you.
But I didn't kill her! Do a lab test on the card. His DNA will be all over it.
And what if yours is all over it?
It won't be. I didn't kill her. I'm sorry. Just give me a minute. I need some painkillers.
Where did he go in such a hurry? Is he trying to act as suspiciously as possible?
Okay. Do we look for him? Simon! Where are you, Simon? Alright, we'll talk to Emma. Hey, you know your boyfriend skipped town, something over tape? I don't know.
A few more questions, if you don't mind. Have you seen this anywhere before?
I've seen it somewhere, but can't remember. Sorry, no.
Wow, okay.
Be back later on, if that's okay.
So, can we even talk to Ryan anywhere? It switches depending on your perspective. Like here, it's on pointing to the right. If I were to be on the other side, it would be on the left. Tape and broken window? Okay. Yeah, you gotta remember it. There's a little bit.
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
She does say she recognizes those. That's something.
Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.
Rebecca was the one who taped it up, though, so that may be something. Kind of argument.
A couple more questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, never.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Alright, so I'm guessing Atlas is still locked up. Yeah, we're running out of places to go. Good old James will always talk to us. Even the chief is selling us down the road. But,
A few more questions, please. Thank you. Ever seen tape like this anywhere before?
No.
at least it wasn't a no, it was a nah.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
I'm guessing Paul isn't going to talk to us anymore because he's pouting. Yep. The Chief isn't going to talk to us. That pretty much just leaves Rebecca.
Ask you a couple more things, please. Have you seen patterned tape like this anywhere before?
Oh, Ryan's got some. I know because I borrowed it.
When was that?
A couple of months ago.
Have you still got it?
I don't think so. I haven't seen it since then.
Last saw the tape approximately 2 months ago. Yeah, that didn't... Same tape that she used, did she tape up the window with that pattern tape? I think she did, because I think we saw some of it.
Aha.
Aha!
You last saw that sticky tape 2 months ago, is that correct?
Yes.
So how come you used it last week to tape over the broken window outside? That's the same tape.
Well, I must have been mistaken.
You see, the reason I'm asking is that it's exactly the same tape that was found attached to Kate's driving license, found at the scene. The tape that only Ryan has. Ryan, and of course, you.
So what are you saying?
Who's got the tape now? Do you know where it is?
No. No, I don't know where it is. Why are you asking me about this tape?
You seem nervous, Rebecca. Is there a problem?
Well, you're practically accusing me of having something to do with that woman's murder, aren't you?
I wasn't accusing you of anything, Rebecca. Unless there's something you'd like to tell me.
No, I wouldn't like to tell you anything.
Okay, well, that's fine. Obviously, we'll be swabbing everyone in the area for DNA, so if anything comes up on Kate's license, DNA traces.
What'll come up? Nothing will come up. Right, I've had enough. I've got to get back.
Rebecca! Would you like to explain to me exactly what is going on?
Which bit? The fact that some leggy bitch was trying to steal my husband?
I think you had better tell me what you know, Rebecca.
Okay. You want to know what I know? Kate Vine seduced my husband and was going to blackmail him. Not only did she sleep with him, that whore did it just for his money, our money.
How did you work that out?
I heard her. I knew it was her arguing with Emma Bowman. Emma was trying to talk her out of it.
And how did she come to be at the lake?
She dropped that driving licence thing when she came in. She was drunk. She dropped her bag. I took it out to the woods and stuck it over the lake. Then I waited for her. When she came out, I told her where it was, that someone had just run off into the woods with it.
You led her to the lake.
She was reaching out over the lake to get it. I didn't do anything. She just fell in.
But you let her drown.
It was dark. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't help her.
Really? Did you try, Rebecca?
Well, it was too late. She was just flapping about in the water. It was pathetic. She was making these gurgling sounds.
And what did you do?
I got a big stick. I just pushed her down with it until she stopped. Well, she was dead anyway. What did it matter?
You killed her, Rebecca.
But she slept with my husband.
She didn't, Rebecca.
What do you mean?
You got the wrong girl.
Who? Emma. It was Emma.
Rebecca Rand, I am arresting you for the murder of Kate Vine. You do not have to say anything, but anything you do say may be taken down and will be used in evidence against you. Do you understand?
Yes.
So, it appears that Kate Vine's death was a tragic case of mistaken identity. But there are some loose threads here. What was Ryan doing with Kyle and that girl in the woods? What if I hadn't interrupted? And what really happened to Liam last year? It seems I've only scratched the surface of Atlas and the Rand business empire. Trying to find out about Paul Rand's past is like peering into dense fog. He gives nothing away and covers his tracks with military efficiency. However, what is known is that Paul Rand has a lot of connections in high places, politicians, celebrities, business leaders. Perhaps James Wilson's ideas weren't too wide of the mark after all. I get the feeling there's still a lot more to learn about the Rand business empire.
You're going to have to excuse us. Atlas is closed for the moment, but we'll be open again very soon. Thank you for your interest.
Dun, 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 dun. Well, all right. I don't know if there's going to be a kind of a sneaky thing at the end of the credits. So if you guys want to hang out and see, feel free. Well, it's good to see Inspector Jenks and Ryan Rand give themselves a running Sky 5 at the end. All right, well, that was a pretty cool game. I like the characters, and I like finding the contradictions. The the Rand Corporation was a little bit of an odd thing, but it was kind of fun figuring it all out, and I definitely liked the acting and the cheesiness of it. That's great. Yeah, I'm glad I finally played it too. I eventually gave up waiting for it to go on sale and just like, you know what, it's time to play it. FMV games have this fun kind of quality to them. I don't know if it's because it's real pure. Well, that must be it. But so I'd like to play a few more of those. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you all next week. So this is actually going to be the last week before we start October, and we usually do Halloween themed games in October. So I haven't quite figured out exactly which games to play yet, but that'll be something to look forward to. Yeah, I added Dr. Decker to my wish list recently, so I'll have to pick it up at some point. Apparently it has the guy who played Rupert Burst, the guy who played Jenks, is in that one as well, so that should be cool. Yeah, no more Furby games this year. Anyway, see you later, everyone. Have a good night.